Well, hello, my loves. It's Michelle, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My goal here on this channel is to provide my ladies with guidance and level up advice through lessons I've learned or still learning to become the women that we are destined and purposed to be. And in today's video, I want to talk about how being an introvert may be costing you the life that you want. And I'm going to highlight three ways being an introvert is actually working against you, and you may not even realize it. But first, I want to preface this by saying that the point of this video is to not say being an introvert is bad. Okay, I consider myself to be an introvert, and I've recognized the beauty as well as the power that comes with being introverted. We're usually deep thinkers, we're usually self motivated and independent. And I just want to more so highlight how some characteristics and behaviors that are typically associated with being an introvert can be holding you back in life. And I like to consider myself a solution oriented woman. So I'll be giving you some tips and some pointers to begin working on this as soon as possible, but to also stay genuine to who you are because in 2026, baby, we are going after everything we deserve, but we got to put in the work, right? So, a little backstory. For the majority of my life, I've probably claimed myself to be an introvert. I was that girl in school who had a very small circle of friends. I never really went out like that because I was always real comfortable in my own solitude. And that's the case even for today. And while I think that is extremely important, especially as a woman, like I don't care what anyone says, to a degree, you have to learn how to be alone and be content in that. Not saying you're gonna spend your entire life alone, but you just never know what life has in store, right? We go through breakups, friendships may fail, but you have to learn and to love yourself enough to enjoy your own company, right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But with anything, too much of something can be counterproductive. And as you mature and you start to put two and two together on why you are the way you are and think the way that you do and do the things that you do, especially for my introspective queens, right? We're always learning and unlearning so we can become the best version of ourselves. But anyway, I began to realize that even though by nature I am on the more reserved side, I just felt way too comfortable in my own solitude because of fear. Fear of being perceived and fear of being judged by others. And I also subconsciously had a fear of not fitting in. So, as a defense mechanism, I just isolated myself altogether so I wouldn't have to put up with any of that and to still preserve my dignity and protect my emotions at the end of the day. And this fear also went hand in hand with low self esteem. Now, I'm not saying that if you're introverted, you automatically have low self esteem, but science have proven time and time again that we are inherently social beings. It's in our nature by science. It's in our nature to build relationships and connect with people. And even in the Bible, God said it's not good for the man to be alone. And that statement isn't directed towards just men, but it speaks more to human design and our need for companionship and community. Okay, so prolonged isolation can hint at some deficiencies or defects. Okay, so I don't care what anyone says or what you tell yourself, we need it. Don't argue with me, argue with God and science. So, with keeping that in mind, here are three ways being an introvert may be holding you back. Number one, introversion leads to capped or fake confidence. And I think this point is very interesting and worth bringing up because when you're introverted, most of the time, your environment is very controlled and contained. And yes, throughout the years, I have worked on improving my self confidence, but there's only so much confidence you can achieve in an environment that is controlled by you, right? What happens when someone that is prettier or has more or is smarter than you walks into the room? How do you react when there's a group of people that are pointing and staring and talking about you? Are you tense? Do you feel threatened and start to feel small and defensive? how really confident are you when you are not in control of your environment? Because it's actually the easiest to be confident when you are in control and there's no other voices, no other opinions, or people judging you. It's easy to be confident when there's no one around you triggering you, is what I'm trying to say. And that's why I believe it's impossible to live in your true confidence potential if you are always introverted. Because true confidence says, I know who I am, I'm staying true to who I am, and I believe and I stand firm in the value I possess, no matter who's around, no matter what's taking place around me. And it's funny because these were the things I'd tell myself whenever I was alone. I'd watch 1,000 YouTube videos on improving self confidence until I got out there. And as soon as I was triggered, I was ready to run home and go to a place where I had control. But I've learned you always can't run and you are not always going to be in control. Always feeling the need to be in control of your environment will actually set you up for harm in the long run because that is just not realistic. And that's just not the world we live in. And control isn't something you should even aspire to have unless it's self control. So until you've actually been in environments where there are triggers, but you still remain intact, you moved and you spoke with grace and love as a classy and self assured woman in any environment, not just at home, not just at your family or your friend's home or in any predictable places that you frequent. I'm talking in any environment. Unless you've been exposed to triggers and you still remained you, I don't think you can really claim true self-confidence. And I brought this point up for you to reflect on your own experience and to be honest with yourself on why you may value your isolation so much. Two, introversion is keeping you invisible. Babe, I am going to hold your hand when I tell you this because I sure wish someone held my hand when I first heard this. But if you find yourself struggling financially or wondering why you're not attracting the opportunities, the friendships, the relationships you want, it's probably because you're too invisible to the world. Visibility equals opportunity. I'm going to say it one more time. Visibility equals opportunity. I know you don't want to hear this, but the people who are out socializing, networking, and meeting new people on a Saturday night while you're tucked in bed watching Stranger Things, those are the people out there getting the deals, getting the job offers, and the promotions that they didn't even ask for. And the crazy thing is that these people may be half as qualified, half as talented, or even half as smart as you are. But guess what? They're the ones getting the opportunities because they understand that closed mouths don't get fed and that no one is going to come searching for you while you're at home in bed watching Netflix and hand you things. And this was a very hard truth that I learned when I made the decision to become a real estate agent last year. And any real estate professional will tell you how vital networking is. That's how you get business. So if people don't know who you are, you don't eat. You don't eat. It's that simple. And that same idea can be applied to any area that you're wanting to be successful in. Whether you're wanting to start up a business this year, make more friends, have more meaningful romantic relationships, become a cornerstone in your community, whatever it is that you are desiring deep down, as an introverted girly, I'm here to tell you that it's going to require you to break away from your introversion because it's keeping you invisible. Especially if you're introverted, because if you're afraid of being perceived like I was, let me tell you, you are just going to have to get used to it. You are just going to have to get used to being seen and be okay with being seen. Because if it's more growth, more opportunities that you want, best believe that's going to attract attention, whether it's good or bad. But that's just what comes with the territory. And that's where having enough confidence to navigate the attention, to navigate the opinions, and the judgment will come and save you. And we're going to dive deeper on that in a moment. But honey, it's 2026. And if it's something that's hurting your bag and keeping you from the life you desire, and you have the ability to fix it for free, it's time to stop playing around. It's time to stop playing around and get on it seriously. Now, my third point, introversion can impact your ability to initiate and maintain relationships. As introverts, it's rare that we initiate conversations with people. We're often waiting for others to reach out, which can lead to missed friendships or networking opportunities. And also, people will assume that you're disinterested, even if that's not true. It's harder for us to start and maintain relationships because we value depth. So things like small talk and casual interactions can really feel like the most daunting and draining thing ever. But as I'm growing up, I'm realizing that the small talks lead to the big talks. And small talk is just a skill that I have to learn to improve in. And we also get the label that we're disconnected or distant. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I've heard the people in my life tell me that. And it really pains me to hear because it really isn't my intention to come off that way. But even though that might not be my intention, that's how others perceive me. So it's my job to fix that. And I'm also beginning to realize that there is a burden that comes with being isolated and by myself all the time. And in this season, I feel like God is trying to show me the importance of community and how that can alleviate some of the burdens that I'm carrying and just overall improve my life. As self sufficient, as self motivated as I am, I'm not afraid to say I need support. I need support. I need collaboration. I need accountability and love and help and perspective from other people. So that brings me to my next point, what to do now. If you're an introvert and you resonated with some of these points and see where it's been slowly costing you in life and you want things to be different, but not completely change who you are at the core, here's what to do. One, change your mindset. It all begins in the mind. And I had to do this by telling myself that introversion is about how I recharge socially. That's it. That's it. It's not a limitation on my ability to connect with people or a limitation in my life in general. And this was really huge for me because all my life I tell myself that I was this way because I was an introvert, that I don't like going out because I'm an introvert, and all these things because I'm an introvert. And I just give this thing too much power over my life. And I see this happen all the time. Even when I was on Pinterest trying to get inspiration for this video, when when I searched up introvert, I was seeing so many quotes and posts about being antisocial, being anti-people and hating people. Like, I don't know about y'all, but those are the things that I am no longer claiming or associating with because those are very, very harmful mindsets to have. We need people in life because God designed us that way. He designed us to live, to grow, and to serve amongst other people. Relationships are not just optional extras, right? They're so important to our emotional and our mental health and our spiritual growth and for wisdom and just having an all around fulfilled life. Y'all, take it from me. I have tried it. I have tried it, and there's only so much that can be achieved on your own. And I'm arriving to a place now where I'm like, I don't want to do it on my own. I don't want to do these things on my own. I want to have people helping me and supporting me. And I just don't want to do it alone. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. So we need people to get ahead in life, is what I'm trying to say. Whatever your purpose or your destiny in life is, I can guarantee you it will require you to know how to be effective with people somewhere along the line. We need people. God created us this way, point blank, period. And yes, 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 I know that there are people out there that can be horrible, they can be garbage, but that's where you have to have enough discernment to know who you should associate with and just having enough confidence to navigate those people who are full of it. But don't dispose of people altogether just because you've had bad experiences, because it's a life skill to know how to deal with people because they ain't going nowhere. Another mindset shift to adopt is that we're not trying to be loud. We're not trying to be socially dominant or constantly visible. No, 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 no. The goal here is that we want to show up intentionally, begin to tolerate and handle being seen, being visible in small doses, and begin to build relationships that are genuine and make sense to you in your life. This is about being strategic, right? It's not about some high school popularity contest. No, we're not trying to befriend the world here. Now, the action part to this is going to require you to get out of your comfort zone, but I want you to do this in a way that aligns with you and your interests and your talents and your gifts. So it doesn't feel like you're becoming someone you're not and that you're performing, because no, we're not doing that. So I'd say start by attending social events or outings that interest you and have at least one conversation with someone you don't know. Like for me, I love to dance. I'm really good at it if I do say so myself. I love hip hop, salsa, bachata, merengue, all those. Um, and I started taking classes recently. Used to go a few years ago and then I stopped. But recently I said, you know what? I'm good at this. Let me just search up some classes in my area, right? So every time I go, I kid you not, people would start coming up to me and telling me how they love the way I dance, and from there a conversation would start. So that's why I say it's important that you choose something that aligns with your gifts and your talents, because in a way, you won't even have to chase people or conversations. They will find you, right? It's about putting yourself in a position to attract friendships, relationships, and opportunities. But anyway, I made it a point to go out and talk to someone every time I went. Nothing crazy, maybe like a 5-minute conversation before the class starts. This stuff doesn't come natural to me, so it's like I'm training a muscle, right? So 5 minutes one day with one person, or 5 minutes the other day with two people. And if you're trying to ease your way into being more social, I think it'll help to be a regular somewhere. So be a regular at a fitness class or a pottery class, a poetry class, whatever interests you. When you're a regular, you see the same faces, they see you, they recognize you. That way isn't it's not so intimidating to strike up a conversation. And the point here is to find the community that fits you and to thrive from there. And if you can't find one, make your own. Make your own. There are no excuses in 2026. And that's actually what made me begin to start YouTube. Like I wanted to build my own community to with women who are like-minded. So even being active on social media can be a way to break free from introversion. And of course, putting things out there that align with you, right? Be authentic in all of this. And in all of what I'm trying to say, I want you to recognize your own personal strengths and use them to your advantage. As introverts, we're usually great listeners. We usually give very thoughtful feedback. Another strength could be that you're very quirky or funny. Use whatever strength you have, right? Use whatever God has given you naturally and use it to guide the conversation. So you're just not being subjected to this meaningless, conversation that ends up dead because you didn't know what to say or you were just too awkward about it. When you recognize what strength you have and you use it, and you're still being authentic to who you are, and people can start to see what's unique about you and see the value that you have. The bottom line is that socialization is a skill, and I really encourage you to start building on this skill. Watch YouTube videos, read books, listen to podcasts on how to be a better conversationalist and how to better connect with people because it is possible, y'all. We just have to be intentional about it. So don't say, I'm not this way naturally, so it'll never happen for me. No, it can happen. It will happen. We just have to do something about it and be intentional, okay? So, thank you, ladies, for listening and making it to the end of this episode. I really hope what I discussed here today resonated with you and inspired something in you. I just saw the way being an introvert was literally robbing me of my life, and I said, no more, no more. So, I needed to come on here and share the wisdom, and hopefully, you say no more too. And if you got something from this, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment and let me know your thoughts. And if being an introvert has held you back in a way that I didn't mention here, I want to hear your stories. But until next time, bye, ladies.